so they can see and feel and know the beauty of themselves, of their souls, their soul star, and the beauty of their connection with Source, their connection with the universe. Not just as like, oh, help me out, universe, but like, I'm part of the universe. I am the universe. Welcome, beautiful souls, to Say Yes to Your Soul podcast. I'm your host, Tessa Lynne Alburn, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. This is the space where we empower women like you to connect deeply with your soul, to shine in your business, and live a life filled with purpose and joy. Whether you're seeking to embrace your inner brilliance, cultivate meaningful connections, or be generously compensated for the unique gifts you bring to the world, you've come to the right place. As we navigate the busyness of the new year, we'll explore how to honor the dark, restful days of winter and use them as an opportunity for soulful reflection and renewal. So get cozy, get present, and let's journey together into the season of transformation. Well, hello there. I'm glad you're here with me today. I have been working with clients for many, many years, and throughout all the time that I've been working with them, it's clear that there always needs to be some kind of a process to best support them. Back in very early days for me, I didn't really know what that meant exactly, but I had some sort of plan, right? I had a plan and I had maybe a healing technique or some coaching skills, but I didn't really see the bigger picture in terms of the process. And so what happened was I started to notice that the people who were having the greater results and the more rapidly, were the ones who were working with me in a way where the process was unfolding for them. And as my process got clearer and stronger, and I could name it and I could follow it, I could offer that to my clients, there was some like a cohesion. And in a way for the client, what I noticed was they would settle into the energy a little bit better and not be as frazzled or wondering why we're doing something. So they were able to make bigger leaps in what they were learning and also in what they were integrating the more I used process. And I have, of course, continued that to this day. And I am working now with a process that I call the Soulful Shero's 8-step path. And when I set about to looking at what this was going to be, I really had to investigate a number of the clients that I've worked with. What was it? Where were the common threads? What were the common denominators? And then the threads within those denominators. What was actually happening? What were the big doorways that they were needing to move through in order to have the results that they wanted? And as I did this research and analysis, essentially it was an analysis of what I had done in these sessions over time, I was able to identify the steps. And then from that process, so years ago I did that. And then as I've evolved and as my clientele has evolved, they become more spiritually minded, they become more grounded in techniques in meditation or self-awareness, then my process was able to evolve as well. And so I'd like to just share with you a little bit about the process and why it's important. You'll hear a lot of people saying things like, oh, you just need to, trust the universe or trust the process, or yes, I'm just going to trust my process. I hear that a lot in just conversations here and there. And trusting my process may not actually be that powerful. But when you do have a process that takes you from A to Z, or at least includes A to Z, so that you can stop here and stop there and make sure you're getting the full picture, then results are much more powerful. They land in us in a way that makes a much bigger difference in our lives. So when we talk about trusting the process, first of all, there needs to be one. What is the process? Does anybody even know what it is? Or is it just, let's make it up as we go along? That's not a process. Or I suppose that could be a creative process, but that is not a process intended to get clear results. And so a process for clear results requires a number of things. And the first stage in almost any process that I've ever seen out there, and I've done a lot of analyzing of other people's processes, the first stage is going to have to do with the vision. Like somehow a person has to get a vision. They either need to say, I want this, or they, in the middle of the night, they have somebody comes in and speaks to them. Maybe their mother who passed years ago has a message for them, and they wake up and they're renewed and refreshed, and they're like, I know what I'm going to do now. I can see the purpose of my life. Maybe it's something like that. Or it's something a little bit smaller than that. Maybe it's simply that they start to want something and they want it enough that they're fantasizing about it. Then it goes from fantasy to actually imagining it in a real way with real practical steps associated with it. And they then come into ownership of that vision, of that new way of life. And so if we look at any of the classics of any kind of mythology, or J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, for example, the hero or the Shero is sometimes a little reluctant in the beginning. And even though they've got this big vision, they know they need to do this thing, like somehow this thing has landed in their lap or the vision came to them, and they know they can't turn back. They've got to start going forward on it. In some cases, they don't know what the process is going to be, but they get a little bit of information. Somebody's telling them, oh, you're going to need to go talk to this gatekeeper over here, or you're going to better watch out for those trolls over there, and you're going to need to go to the land of such and such. And it's similar for us in our lives when we have that vision and we're holding the vision for our ideal lives, for the things that we don't even know necessarily what we want, but we know that there's something better, right? That can be enough to get you started. But there then needs to be that commitment to it. And not just like running away from it, or, oh yes, this is my vision, that I'm going to have that someday, and then forgetting about it and not really lining up the energies for it. So a vision needs to be in alignment with our commitment, or vice versa. Our commitment needs to be in alignment with our vision. And also the vision itself, we want that to be in alignment with our authentic selves. And this right here, this is part of the problem for a lot of people, because they don't actually know who their authentic self is. They know they want it, but they don't know what it is. And I find that really mysterious and intriguing, and I love it because I love to help my clients to really nail that, to really get it, what it is and why it's important to them. And so from there, we begin this process, and then along the way, and I've mentioned this step or this stage to you as part of the path, which is healing the wounded self. So that needs to occur. And that healing process can make you feel vulnerable. And when we can wrap ourselves around vulnerability as a strength, then we can really heal and we can call in the energies and move past the traumas and finally start to feel good in our own skin. So those are the first two steps in my Shero's journey that I take clients on. And the third step is access the divine. Without the divine, we have almost no power. We can have willpower to a certain extent, but we cannot engage with all of creation and all of the intelligence. It's constantly unfolding and constantly co-creating with us to harness those powers and those energies. And we can find ourselves really worn out and sometimes wondering, why did I get on this path? Because we weren't accessing our divine teams, or we weren't really hearing the higher guidance that's available to us. And this is a little side note, I'm preparing for a retreat that I'm going to lead soon. And one of the things that we're going to do in there is we're going to use a specific technique where women can access the divine in a very specific methodology that is so reliable. I'm not sure why people don't use this more frequently, but I'm going to teach it, and my people are going to be able to access the divine in a new way so that they can then go home and repeat it. It's not some mysterious thing that cannot be repeated, or it's just a one-time thing at some retreat somewhere where everything came together and it was magical. This is something we can do. We can cultivate using our brains in a way to access divine information and divine connection when we want it. All right, so our fourth step is awakening a deeper sense of purpose. And so whatever sets us onto our path in the beginning, we want this, we want that, we want a little bit better life, we want maybe a relationship or a better relationship, or, we want to go to school or whatever it is. When we get into the actual process and the journey of the Shero, where we're facing challenges and we're doing things that require our courage and that require us to step up into another level, often what happens is the purpose can get confusing. It's like, why am I doing this? This is really, really hard. Why am I, crossing these lands and going through these valleys and facing dragons of death? It's because there is a deeper purpose, but you may not be aware of it. And so this is an important piece to discover. And I believe this is where the true north is. It's really clear there. This is where when you've awakened to that deeper sense of purpose, you feel it in your body. You just know it. You don't have to explain it. You're like, that's it. I'm clear. And that is when the real authentic path begins. Now you're creating consciously. And this will allow you to do the next thing on the path, which is to face the shadow and to understand it, to understand the darkness and how it has served you and how it can continue to serve you. That you've got to learn how to work with it, or it can swallow you up. And I think a lot of people in a standard, typical life journey, when the shadow starts to take over, we're just wondering, what's wrong with me? I can't break through this. I'm just creating the same old mess that I've done before. That's probably the shadow. It's the self-sabotage. And often it's not easy for people to see it on their own. It's definitely one of the areas that I'm able to help my clients with by seeing what's really going on for them, because they're just too close to it and they're in the grips of it. But once the self-sabotage is gone, there's wisdom and there's more courage and there's energy for the long haul, for getting to the full vision, not just little bits of it here and there. So we come out of that phase. Now and sometimes we pop back into a step and then we pop back out where we are. But every time you can think of it like a spiral. But as we're spiraling, we're going up. That's the best way I can describe it. An important step along the way is to master your energy. And this is like thinking good thoughts and also having command. So it's not about positivity per se, like that stuff just doesn't work. But it is about being conscious enough to slow things down so then you can choose what your mastery will be and access energy portals that are going to propel you to the next step or to the next stage. It becomes a self-fulfilling success cycle. Once you master energy, you can continue to create success no matter what, and you can continue to feel great about it. And that's exciting. Step 7. As you continue to master energy and keep moving towards your vision, living intuitively begins to happen. And now there are times where you work on your intuition because you do need to understand what is your intuition and what is not. And that question is asked a lot because people are so confused. They've had their choices shut down by others. They've been told, don't listen to that. You're supposed to be rational and think it through. And so there's been this blanket on their intuition or a cloud that they can't really tune into it. Or when they do tune into it, they don't feel like they can trust it fully. So this is an important part of the process because without that trust, we can't know, and we're always questioning it because the mind will always question. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to keep us safe. It is not designed to get creative and feel into things. The mind wants to extrapolate from the past. That's what it does. So we need to learn to access intuition so we can then create new possibilities, not based on the past. And finally, in the Shero's journey, the 8th step, and I really spent a lot of time with this because I thought, if I claim this, like people may not get it. They may not understand the importance of it, or they may not understand what I mean, really. And it's called Create Radiant Beauty. And as I dived into this inquiry around this step, I realized that beauty is not necessarily this subjective, mysterious thing that we can't define. It actually is seeing the world in a way where beauty prevails. Other people may not see it yet, but creating beauty is about creating beauty inside ourselves first, and then seeing the beauty all around us. Not just like, oh, that's cool or that's beautiful, that one thing, but seeing the interconnections. And what I am saying is beauty are the resonant energies such as harmony, gratitude, contribution, acceptance, magnificence. Like, what if we could just have every day, if we could just get to this step and every day was, wow, I'm so grateful. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, look at that person. They're speeding along. Oh, wow. They're not staying within the lines. Wow. Life is beautiful. What if we had that reaction to all the little doodad annoying things that go on all the time for us? What if we could create beauty and see a bigger picture, the bigger picture of the soul journey, the bigger picture of oneness? I think that's beautiful. And so I help clients to access their own inner beauty, because many of them are so overcome with needing to survive or get approval from external sources that they've forgotten the beauty of their own soul. And the beauty of their soul is not even shining through their face. It's not coming through their body. It's not coming through anything else. They think they're doing okay because they're courteous or they are thoughtful, but there's a rigidness to their energy and nothing can get in. Love cannot get in. But when we're in beauty, when we're in that space of beauty, we can be in flow. We can be in the beauty of love. We could be in the beauty of power. We could be in the beauty of truth. All these things connect. And then our expression is beautiful. Our expression is always authentic when there's beauty to it. So that's what I'm positing here. I think we could be living more beautiful lives. And it's something that I'm constantly striving to do more of. And I don't know how beautiful my life will get, but it's pretty darn beautiful right now. And I'm opening up to new ways of seeing that and experiencing it and creating it. And I absolutely love helping clients to do that as well, so they can see and feel and know the beauty of themselves, of their souls, their soul star, and the beauty of their connection with Source, their connection with the universe. Not just as like, oh, help me out, universe, but like, I'm part of the universe. I am the universe. The universe is beautiful, and therefore I am too. And to really feel into that and bring that energy into your world. Would that be a game changer? All right. So that is the Shero's journey process. And if you feel like some of this is resonating for you and you want to know more, or you want to just explore how this kind of process could support you in having a fulfilled life, an ideal life, how could your life be ideal for your authentic self? And how will you know when you're being authentic, truly authentic? If you'd like to have a discussion, reach out to me. There's a contact form on the website, sayyestoyoursoulpodcast.com. And I wish for you today, my prayer for you, is that you always know safety and that you thrive in the glory of beauty and love and harmony. May you be authentic in a way that exceeds what you can imagine right now. Blessings and light to you. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for joining me on this soul-nourishing journey today. I hope you're feeling inspired to embrace the stillness of the winter season, connect with your inner wisdom, and allow space for your soul to rest and regenerate. Remember, the darkness of winter is not something to fear or to rush through. It's a powerful time for growth, for healing, and for accessing divine guidance. Before you go, I'd love to invite you to take a moment to reflect on today's episode and perhaps explore the meditation I've created just for you. It's designed to help you connect with the angelic realms and invite love and guidance into your life. You can find it at sayyestoyoursoulpodcast.com, soulfulshero.com/multiverse meditation, and I'll also link it in the show notes for you. If this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review and share it with someone you think might benefit from this message. You deserve to say yes to your soul, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, take a deep breath, honor the quiet, and trust that the universe is working in your favor. Stay present, stay connected, and most of all, stay true to you.